Hi, welcome back to video 15. We're halfway there. I'm halfway there if you're even listening to me. Who knows? But management tip today is a really simple one. So important, this understanding when we think about infectious disease. We're trying to increase immunity and drive down infection pressure. So a real simple tip in seasonal systems is an all-in, all-out system. So what's that mean? We're filling pen by pen, one by one, and this is kind of keeping similar age groups together. One thing we always talk about is having calves separate to older stock. It's not always possible with infrastructure, but why is this important? Well, we don't want to mix young calves with older calves because the older stock, the calf is born with very basic innate immunity. We talked about colostrum. It develops the passive immunity from its mother through colostrum, which is really important. But then older stock starts developing. There's this phase where passive and innate, and the calf develops its own immunity. So older stock have built up immunity to diseases, but they also can be a shedding risk. While they're not sick, they can be a source of disease for younger calves. So the all-in, all-out system works well to reduce that. And it's a very simple principle, but it's attacking this whole infection pressure. And I think most farms are doing that, trying to remove calves from older stock where possible. Your separate calf housing is the idea of that. But within that calf, then all in. And then when we remove a group of calves and wean them, for example, we're cleaning out before a new batch comes in. That's probably more important, certainly when we have all year round calving, that we have a clean break between the group that's going out of that pen and the new group going in, a thorough disinfection. Which sometimes in all year round systems, this is kind of seasonal calving advice, but in all year round systems, it can be hard to give a real deep clean because you can increase moisture. But all in, all out, I'm doing too much talking. If we look at between pens, so we've calves in calves in pens here, and we think about disease spread between pens. Some people use barriers and stuff, but with aerosols, disease can spread quite easily. One thing that comes up quite commonly is the use of an isolation pen. What I find in seasonal calving systems, isolation pens work well for calves that need a lot of TLC, fluids, etc. But sometimes when we get scour outbreaks in particular, often when we see a sick one or two calves, most of the pen are going to be affected. I find sometimes the use of isolation pens can actually spread more infection, but it's farm to farm, talk to your own vet. All in, all out system. Mindset today, it's a very simple one. I got a great piece of advice in 5th class from our teacher. Get a good pair of shoes and a good mattress. You spend your life in both. So the idea of having good gear. So, spring is wet, it can be damp. Having good wet gear, having good wellies. Look after your own gear. Why is that got to do with calf rearing? But if we think about it, an investment in gear ahead of calving time, it's a great investment because you're in difficult working conditions all the time. If you have a nice, comfortable pair of wellies, if you have good wet gear, if you're warm, it makes life a bit easier. Simple tip today. Microbes, when we get digestive upsets, we talk about 30 mils per day if you're on the 30 for 30 program or longer. When you get digestive upsets, the important thing to remember is you can top up with an evening feed of microbes, 30 mils for 3 to 4 days. And again, what we're seeing there, we're seeing improved recovery times, less severity of digestive upsets. Also, we have a new electrolyte called Hydrostem. It's an oral next generation electrolyte. It can be fed to calves in bulk or individual calves. It's a hypertonic electrolyte. It's really cool. It's on our website. You can find out more. But the dose rate is 200 mils of the liquid into 1.8 litres of water, or if you're bulk feeding calves, if you have a group of calves that are sick in a pen, say 10, well, you then put 2 litres of this product in a midday feed in with 18 litres of water. Talk to your vet about Hydrostem. So that's the microbes tips today. When we get scour outbreaks, if you're not using precision microbes, it can be used in sick calves that are on milk at a higher dose rate for 60 mils for 5 to 7 days. Okay, I am always promoting the 30 mils, the longer use of the product. That's it. Halfway mark, video 15, management mindset and microbes tips for today. See you tomorrow.